very good afternoon and a warm welcome to all of you all. I'm Rekha Khan, your host for the webinar, and I have with us today Mr. Chhaya, an entrepreneur and an avid gamer at heart. He's going to be talking about decoding metaverse, the big tech revolution. Now that you've joined, you would notice that you all are in mute. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please write them on the chat section. We would be conducting a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. All your queries will be answered by Nina. From the creator of Odin, MTX and IEX, here is yet another credible and exchange-neutral platform a user can rely on while walking towards the path of crypto and blockchain understanding. Starting from education to knowledge to all the latest news, all covered under one super app, 3.0 Wire. Yes, Crypto Wire has now been rebranded as 3.0 Verse. From a novice to a professional trader, every market participant can have a slice of information readily available on the touch of their fingers. Let me walk you through the world's first 3.0 University, 3.0 TV, and 3.0 Wire services. We all know that crypto and blockchain ecosystem is emerging at an immense speed, and to keep a track of all the events, prices, and news look to be difficult. So what if we have an app like our buddy who walks with us, things like us, and responds to what we expect? Yes, you heard it right. Our own global crypto super app 3.0 Verse. 3.0 Verse is now global. Let's start with the homepage of the app. We have three pillars: 3.0 University, 3.0 TV, and 3.0 Wire. Under the 3.0 Wire services, we have rolled out India's first global index of cryptos, IC50. It tracks the performance of the top 15 cryptocurrencies globally based on market capitalization. Crypto enthusiasts and crypto traders can take informed decisions based on IC50. Under the WireWatch section, we can monitor the best exchange to buy and the best exchange to sell a particular cryptocurrency. In the center of the screen, you can monitor the arbitrage opportunity available between the two exchanges for the same cryptocurrency. There are more than 400 plus cryptocurrencies listed on our platform, along with 70 plus crypto exchanges worldwide. TV, it's an exclusive 24/7 mobile IPTV covering everything on crypto and blockchain ecosystem. It is currently available in 4 different languages: English, Hindi, Gujarati, and Marathi. Coming to our university vertical, it's the world's first digital university to offer courses on crypto and blockchain. You can find the best courses available on our platform. Do explore it. We also have a play to earn virtual trading game, which is on. There is a live contest. You can participate in the contest and win exciting prizes. We've also started multi-trade routing platform. You all can explore that by downloading our app. With this, I would now like to introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Chhaya. He would be sharing his views on today's topic. Mr. Ninad has over 25 years of experience in gaming and interactive media space. He is currently the Chief Metaverse Officer of GoFigital and an award-winning venture focused on providing immersive solution for the metaverse using augmented reality, virtual reality, AI, ML, and gamification as the 4 core offerings. He has also recently come on board as a consultant with Reliance Games. Before GoFigital, Ninad had held leadership roles at premium mobile app and game development companies in India, such as Robosoft Technology, Nazara Technologies, and India Games, where he was very instrumental towards their growth. Ninad's foray into the gaming began when he co-founded India Games Limited, India's first gaming company that was later acquired by Walt Disney. And he played a very important role in building the organization to become a leading global mobile game publisher in its early days. Over the years, Ninad has been affiliated with associations like NASCOM Gaming Forum and the FICCI Animation and Gaming Forum. He is also a member of the Internet and Mobile Association India, ARAV committee, which aims to promote augmented reality and virtual reality technology to drive economic growth, job creation, and skill development in the country, and is also a member of the CII subcommittee on AVGC and immersive media. Join me in welcoming Mr. Ninad Chhaya. Hi, Ninad.
Hi, Rekha. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me over for this webinar.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. It's a very interesting topic, Rekha, that you chose on decoding the metaverse. And thank you all for joining today's webinar. Although 45 minutes to an hour's time is fairly less to understand what the metaverse is about or decoding the entire context of the metaverse, I will try to share a few thoughts about the metaverse, the building blocks of the metaverse, and the potential. And then actually, I would like to have this as a much more interactive session where I would love to hear your thoughts and your questions. As Rekha mentioned, we can take that at the end of the conversation. So considering we are kind of on a very tight time frame of an hour, let me start my presentation, and then we can, after the presentation, we can start the interaction as well.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you so much. So, like I mentioned, when Rekha came to me with the topic decoding the metaverse, it sounded really interesting. And I said, hey, the metaverse today is affecting, or rather, the past 1 year has been a big buzz around what is the metaverse, what does it comprise of, and how is it going to affect our day-to-day life, right? And if you notice, if you look back on your day-to-day things, you will see that the way we react to our surroundings or the way we interact with our devices, our perception of reality is changing in a big way. And this is not a recent phenomenon. It has been happening over a period of time. But yes, today, the connection is going to be how the metaverse is going to link our day-to-day life. In some very small ways, we already are using and including the building blocks of the metaverse in whatever we are doing, be it AR filters on Instagram, Snapchat, or doing VR experiences, or even tracking using chatbots on AI/ML, which are powered by AI/ML. All of this is eventually going to become the metaverse. But what is metaverse, right? I mean, how did the word come about? The first time the word metaverse was used was in a book, a sci-fi book released in 1992 called The Snow Crash, where the author, Neil Stephenson, described the whole virtual universe where we interact with each other as our digital avatars. The metaverse is formed of two separate words, meta, meaning beyond, or transformative, as in we often use the word metamorphosis, like how a caterpillar metamorphosizes into a butterfly. And the word verse is a short for the word universe, the present universe in which we exist and correlate with each other, we coordinate and communicate with each other. And when these two words come together, that is going beyond the existing universe that we are aware of, that is what will form or is in the process of forming the metaverse. So if I were to simplify the whole definition of the metaverse, right? Going forward, in my perspective, the metaverse is going to be a much more immersive, interactive, 3D virtual world of the internet as we use it today. Today, we use the internet more as a flat 2D interface, right? We go on the browser, we interact with people, we socialize with people, we play games on it. Now imagine all of this in a complete 3D virtual world where you have your own digital avatar and you can walk around, you can interact, you can talk with people, communicate with people, you can collaborate on your work. For example, maybe 5-10 years down the line, this particular webinar could actually happen in the immersive metaverse where there would be a digital avatar of me talking to various digital avatars of you, and Rekha's digital avatar would be hosting the whole thing. And we would be interacting, we would be talking, voice, chat, we could socialize, holograms would kind of appear. So it's not just a digital avatar, it could also be holograms, which would kind of be in the virtual world across devices. So today, most of you would be joining through your desktop, or somebody might be accessing this through their phones. The metaverse will do away with the whole device limitations. You could access the metaverse through a wearable, through a VR headset, through AR smart glasses, through phones, through browsers. And that is kind of what the metaverse is broadly going to be, where it is going to be a confluence, a combination of various technologies, various trends, various user behaviors, various platforms coming together to form a cohesive, persistent experience where people are in a world which blends the physical world with the digital world. And this is just my interpretation of what you see over here, where I said, hey, metaverse, because there is a lot of confusion that what is the metaverse? Is metaverse something which is owned by Meta, the company which was originally known as Facebook, or is metaverse purely in the virtual reality space? Or is metaverse just AR? It is not. Metaverse is a combination of all of this and more, right? I mean, you need AR, you need VR, you need virtual worlds, you need games. I mean, if you look at games like Fortnite and Roblox, these are some of the biggest metaverses on their own because people are already playing within that virtual world. People are interacting with other gamers. There are events happening inside. I mean, Fortnite has been hosting music concerts as a part of its platform, or Roblox has virtual shops. I mean, companies like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and globally, a lot of these brands are now launching their own experiences in the metaverse across various platforms. It could be in a game like Fortnite, in a game like Roblox, or it could be in platforms like Sandbox, Decentraland, or they can even create their own metaverse. I think a couple of days ago, Flipkart announced its own venture into metaverse. So it's not just something which is a global phenomenon. It is also now a lot of companies in India are exploring different ways of launching their own metaverses. It could be a consumer-driven metaverse. So, for example, a Nike, a brand like Nike already has been looking at selling NFTs in the metaverse or creating its own virtual land in the metaverse. Or it could be in the enterprise space, where Microsoft and Meta recently came together to launch an enterprise. So Microsoft Teams will also now have a metaverse presence where your digital avatar can interact with each other. So it is all of this has to be on a secure, decentralized layer of blockchain and in a scalable cloud platform. And a seamless experience would only come when you have high-speed connectivity, and that's where even 5G plays this role. So what you see here today, right, the 10 orbs which are surrounding the metaverse are just an overview of what the metaverse, the various technologies and the experiences that will form the metaverse. In fact, research companies also globally have been doing a lot of research, and this is a research by Gartner. Gartner published a report recently which spoke about what are the various use cases of the metaverse, what are the elements that go to form a metaverse, what are the commercial aspects of the metaverse. And if you look at it, right, I mean, lifestyle is going to be one of the biggest areas where the metaverse is going to impact or affect our day-to-day life. I mean, be it attending music concerts, be it attending social events, be it going to a movie premiere, all this is now slowly moving towards the virtual world. Fashion and lifestyle, right? Online shopping. Now, AR-based try-ons have been around for a while. Uh, be it furniture that you want to look for your home, or your fashion accessories for yourself. All this is again moving into the metaverse, and so from AR into creating a complete virtual fashion world. Uh, like I mentioned earlier, brands have been looking at this space. How you collaborate, how you work with your colleagues who are sitting across the globe. The last 2 years of COVID gave us a taste of what are the early stages of the metaverse, like how we have been used to now conducting meetings over Zoom or over Teams or even Google Meet. Going forward, these meetings would not just have a 2D image of you or a video feed of you. You could actually have your holograms available or 3D virtual avatars available. The metaverse also will work on the social media. I mean, where we interact with our friends. Today, we chat with our friends on Facebook, we share Snapchat chats, or we share AR filters on Instagram. All this will get collaborated cohesively together. And the digital avatar bit which I spoke about, so digital humans. Today, we talk with chatbots, which is more of a text-based chat than an audio-based chat. Going forward, we will have digital avatars of people who could help us out. I mean, it could be an AI/ML powered holobot, which would kind of work to help people from a customer experience perspective. So even the aspect about customer experience is going to change. Gaming has always been in the front when it comes to adopting any new technology. And in fact, while today we use the term metaverse so commonly about people with their digital avatars interacting in a virtual world, one of the first few games to observe this or to give people a taste of this was launched way back in 2002, 2003. It was a game called Second Life, where you could create your digital avatar, you could log into the Second Life platform, you could perform daily tasks, you could meet other digital avatars who would be your friends or fellow gamers, and you could actually live a parallel life. And hence the game was also called Second Life. Obviously, a lot has evolved since then, and we are now fast moving towards an ecosystem which is not bound by a particular platform or a particular device. And then that's where the whole device independence and infrastructure comes down. I mean, yes, you depending on what experience you need, your device will change, but you don't need specifically just a VR headset or just an AR smart glass or just a high-end gaming PC to be a part of the metaverse. It could be even on a smartwatch that you can have this going. A very interesting angle of the metaverse is also NFTs, where you could create your digital assets and you can trade with them. You could sell them in the metaverse, or you could buy some. So there's a very commerce-based approach where as the NFT grows popular, its value grows. And in fact, if you look at it from a gaming perspective, and as even Rekha was mentioning, the whole play-to-earn ecosystem. So NFTs is what will help creators create their own digital assets. It could be as simple as a JPEG or a video or something really an interesting 3D model or a hologram. And that could be launched in the metaverse and you could trade for it. Now the trading will happen on a marketplace like OpenSea, or you could have your own marketplace as well. If obviously there's a lot of infrastructure needed for that. And you will be done using cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. These are some of the popular cryptocurrencies. So if you look at this particular chart, it gives you an overall snapshot of the various applications of the metaverse, the various use cases across the various touch points of your metaverse, and how it will you can go about interacting in the same space. But is this something new, or have we been experiencing metaverse in a different way over the years? So the introduction to metaverse started, like I said, from gaming, but AR and VR, or extended reality, XR as we call it, have started giving people a flavor of what the metaverse is going to be about. And these technologies have been around for quite some time, right? I mean, and in a very interesting way, movies have always helped the viewer, the end users, visualize what the XR experience is going to be, or what the metaverse is going to be. So, for example, when you see Iron Man, what Tony Stark sees in his lab, like a holographic projection of the various aspects he's working on, or what Iron Man sees in his helmet visor, is actually augmented reality. Today, Google Maps also comes with an AR approach where you could actually have an overlay on your Google Map to see where you're headed. A lot of cars have HUD, which tells you the speed and the direction, navigation. So AR is being used across various use cases. Virtual reality is what the Matrix was all about, right? You plug into the Matrix, Neo got plugged into the Matrix, and he got transferred into a simulated immersive environment where he could do anything he wanted to. He could learn to fly a helicopter, he could shoot down a building full of bad guys, and he could learn martial arts in an instant. You name it, it could be done. I mean, like Walt Disney had said, if you can dream it, you can do it. And that is what the metaverse is going to be about. And something which comes very close to the experience is the book and the movie Ready Player One, which again was set in a gaming environment. And it spoke about how people are living in the virtual world as well as the physical world. And their virtual avatars are transacting in that virtual world, in the world of Oasis, to gain currency, to gain points, to go up the leaderboard and become more powerful. And then the winner kind of gets the big prize at the end of the whole Oasis experience. So if you look at the concept of XR, it has been in the movies and in sci-fi books over the years. And one of the movies which really nailed it, this whole experience, was a movie called The Minority Report. And here's an interesting video which shows how a lot of what we are now looking at in our common day-to-day life was actually visualized when the movie came out in 2002. And the book, in fact, has been written even before that. I think the book came out in the 1950s or the 1960s. So I'll just play this video and you could connect the dots on how what was visualized way back like 50, 60 years ago is now becoming a reality.
Hollywood movies have tried to predict the future for years, with varying degrees of success. But one movie has arguably had more success than any other: Minority Report.
Oh, this is good.
Steven Spielberg's 2002 film tells the story of John Anderton, a police officer in Washington, D.C. in the year 2054. He heads the elite pre-crime law enforcement squad that, with the help of psychics, stops crimes before they happen.
I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks and Donald Dubin that was to take place today.
The film predicted tons of technology that we see today, from self-driving cars to personalized ads.
John Anderson, you could use a Guinness right about now.
To augmented reality. So, how did they get so much of this right?
Spielberg said he wanted everyone to feel like they'd naturally kind of lived their lives forward into 2054 and arrived there, and nothing was strange.
That was John Underkoffler. He was a technology advisor on Minority Report.
It was supposed to be this very natural extrapolation forward from where we live. And that meant that everything had to be woven together at an unprecedentedly fine-grained level.
Underkoffler was a part of a team that was building an entire world for the film to exist in. He thinks that as a result of the world that his team conceived, the technologies that they created for the film are being developed today.
Minority Report ended up as a kind of shopping list for venture capitalists and startups and undergraduate and graduate student projects of all stripes. And almost every future technology or future idea that you see in the film has led to 1 or 3 or 5 startups or internal big company initiatives to try to grab a piece of that idea and develop it.
So as you saw from this video, right, I mean, a lot of this is already part of our day-to-day life. We are talking about Tesla, self-driven cars, or we are talking about Google smart glasses, we're talking about Microsoft HoloLens. Now, think about it. This movie came out in 2002 about the future in 2054, which is like still 30 years away. And yet, a lot of this is already coming true, right? The book actually came out 100 years before what this movie is about. So the book came out in 1950s with them, and it spoke about the life in 2054. So if this has been kind of the trend, just think of what can be if you're already using some of this in our day-to-day life today. As we go forward, it is going to be a seamless part of our day-to-day life. I mean, a lot of people say, is metaverse a bubble, or is the metaverse a myth, or is it going to be really something which will work? Well, we already saw it in the past, and we are seeing it in our day-to-day life. So here are some of the global case studies which use XR, which is extended AR and VR, as a part of their product experiences, right? And then you will be able to now connect the dots that, hey, this is something which is already being used. Can this also have applications in other aspects of life? So you would be aware of AR experiences on social media, right? I mean, today, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, all of them have their own AR filters. So if you look at over here, IMDb is using augmented reality to promote various shows through their social channels, right? I mean, and it also personalizes the whole experience. Or it could be gamified. This could be a brand to promote a game, right? Or it could be a basketball manufacturer who could actually use AR, and kind of HBO used this filter for Slam Dunk. So when they're coming out with the movie Space Jam, which was about basketball, it was a very interesting movie where cartoon characters played with Michael Jordan and other real-life basketball players. And they use this, that you play this game, you get a code, and you get a free ticket to the movies. So AR, they connected the whole AR experience to a real-life reward. AR is also slowly changing the way we tell our stories. And when I was a kid, I grew up reading Amar Chitrakatha or Chandamama or Tinkle, which were more of 2D, just print and paper, right? I mean, reading on it. But with AR, you can actually create a new immersive experience of telling a story. All the characters which you would visualize in your head could actually also pop out in front of you. And think of it. I mean, Shikari Shambhu coming on your comic book Alive, or Supandi, or Phantom for that matter, kind of riding, or a Spider-Man swinging in your living room. That would be amazing. So XR is already changing things. It's also for using for movie promotions. I mean, a movie called Jumanji was recently released, a remake of Jumanji. And the way they promoted the film was through a web AR-based filter, where you could look at various zones of the Jumanji movie and play a game all through an AR experience, and then you could even book a ticket. So giving the viewer a taste of the film before the film launches, and not just by showing the trailer on YouTube, you're actually making the user a part of the whole experience. Likewise, like I mentioned, Space Jam did it. After they promoted the movie, they also came out with a AR filter where you enter the portal and become a part of the Space Jam universe, where you interact with the Looney Tunes character, you interact with Michael Jordan, and you explore, and then you can even book a ticket. Or, hey, how about getting Spider-Man in your living room, right? I mean, launch the AR filter, and you have Spider-Man coming over and climbing your living room wall. How cool that would be. All this is already happening. It's not something which is going to happen in the future. Movie studios, FMCG brands, design studios, automotive companies, all of them globally and even in India are now using AR and VR extensively. So this is a video which I wanted to share a bit about how VR is kind of changing things. So if you see the person is using his glove and in his virtual avatar, that person is seeing his hand. Now think about a doctor practicing surgery without the need for a cadaver. Right? I mean, you could actually simulate tricky medical procedures for doctors to kind of practice before they get into a situation, into an operating room, or a fireman practicing the firefighting drills. This is more of a gaming approach that you can see. So the person playing it was not kind of, let me just kind of replay, sorry about that.
Here we go, you're on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare it on 4. Go! Gotcha.
So as you can see, people are playing multiplayer games and interacting with each other, even though they are not in the same room. So across various touch points, this is possible. And not just two players, it can be multiple players as well. Movies are also using virtual reality to promote their films in a big way. I mean, think about it. You wear a VR headset and you see a T-Rex right in your living room. And that's what Jurassic World did. Now, while this on your TV, on your monitor would look like just a regular TV, this is actually immersive, where the dinosaurs actually feel that they are surrounding you. That is what we looked at for AR and VR. And like I said, AI/ML is also like the building blocks. And a lot of you, a couple of years ago, would have seen this app where you could take a still picture and using AI/ML, you could get an animated version, right? It was the My Heritage app. Now imagine a lot of use cases were kind of presented where you could actually have pictures of some of the loved ones of yours who are no more in this world and bring them back to life. So a still life black and white image was made into an animated video. And this was done by the power of AI because it could guess that, hey, there were certain predefined animations, but you could use the face, it would map, those animations would be mapped to the face using AI, and how it could kind of bring alive all these characters. This was made by an Israeli company, and the technology has been licensed now to a lot of companies who are using it. Now, similar to this, right? I mean, last year, a lot of you would have seen an ad by Cadbury, which came on televisions, where Shah Rukh Khan would kind of come on screen and talk about celebrating Diwali locally, right? And this was a very interesting case study. It was done by a company in Bangalore to help promote small-scale businesses.
Businesses and brands that suffered during the pandemic found their way back, but the smaller stores still suffer.
This lockdown has been a real tough phase of my life. I mean, I have seen bad days, but this was the worst.
Last year we helped small businesses through Diwali, so this year we decided to bring it back, presenting not just a Cadbury ad. This Diwali, we helped hundreds of small businesses by making India's biggest brand ambassador be their brand ambassador.
इस दिवाली आप भी ना अपने पास वाले फैशन एम्पोरियम से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करना और फिर एम्पायर फुटवेयर, नाम तो सुना होगा। अपना स्टाइलिश चश्मा बगल वाले हेवन आई ऑप्टिशियन से ही लेना। सिद्धि विनायक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स से लेटेस्ट स्मार्टफोन खरीदकर धमाकेदार सेल्फी पोस्ट करना।
क्या कर रहे हो? मीठा लाए कि नहीं?
लाए हो ना यार, अपने पास वाले रोशन किराना से। आप भी अपना मीठा वहीं से लेना।
We used machine learning to recreate Shah Rukh Khan's face and voice to take the local store names in the ads.
इस दिवाली आप भी ना अपने पास वाले चॉइस ऑफ फैशन से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करना। पास वाले आजकल फैशन से ही, रॉयल फैशन से ही, एनके क्लॉथ से ही, पास वाली लक्ष्मी कलेक्शन से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करना। इस दिवाली आप भी ना अपने पास।
Different versions of the same ad with local store names were targeted as per the PIN code of the viewer, showing them only the nearby stores. But it is impossible to cover all the stores. So we gave the power to the people to create their own version of not just a Cadbury ad. Any small business owner could promote their stores through their own social media networks like WhatsApp forwards and other social media pages.
शाहरुख खान मेरी दुकान का ऐड करें।
हमारे आसपास की जो दुकानें हैं, उनकी दिवाली भी तो मीठी होनी चाहिए।
Cadbury celebrations, not just a Cadbury ad.
So using AI/ML, using deepfake, using NLP, they were able to create an experience which was very personalized, right? I mean, think about it. If Shah Rukh Khan came and promoted 3.0 verse, and then say, hey, for attending awesome webinars on Metaverse, please log on to 3.0 verse. It's all possible through technology. In fact, a lot of companies are using also AI/ML as a part of personalizing the experience. Over here, what you saw was Shah Rukh Khan talking about a particular business, but what if you could become a part of a movie? And that is what a company called a movie called Reminiscence did when they created an AI/ML experience, where all you could have to do was take your picture and upload it on their website, and you could be a part of their movie promotions.
You're going on a journey through memory. Your destination, place and time you've been before.
So you took your picture, you uploaded it, and you saw yourself as a part of the whole movie promotion aspect with Hugh Jackman. So personalizing your whole experience. I mean, think of it, right? I mean, if the makers of Brahmastra had thought of something like this, you could have been the Agni Astra, or you could kind of look at yourself as one of the Brahmanj and be part of the whole movie-going experience. And this is what technologies like AR, VR, AI/ML, all of these are coming together to bring that immersive experience. And if you remember the video which Mark Zuckerberg had shared last year, when they rebranded the company to Meta, this would give an overview. So and it's growing, right? I mean, if you look at these are some interesting numbers which I spoke about, where although these are numbers from last year when Facebook rebranded to Meta, these numbers are just growing. So if you look at the total population, we are at almost 8 billion people, of which we have around 5.3 billion people, that is 67% of today's population is using mobile phones. We have around half of the population using internet, right? We have active social media users of same, almost 57% people are actively on social media, which means all of these people are interacting, socializing with each other in some way or the other, and also using the internet to communicate, to play games, to transact. If you look at the growth, it is growing year on year. Right? Last year it grew from by 80 million, and even this year the population is growing. The number of users are growing. Overall, the trend is that a lot more users are adopting mobile phones, are adopting internet, are using actively social media. And these are the platforms which are actually making a big push to promote what the metaverse is about or going to be about. So if you look at the world's most used social platforms, you have Facebook, you have YouTube, you have WhatsApp, you have Instagram, FB Messenger, TikTok. Now look at the companies which are making a big push into the metaverse. You have Meta, which has Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp as its platform. You have Microsoft, which is launching the HoloLens 2 and now collaborating with Meta to launch a much more immersive metaverse experience. You have TikTok, which has its own AR experiences. You have Amazon, which has its own platform. And in fact, through the Amazon app, you can have AR experience to choose what you're buying, right? You have Google, which has been, in fact, a leader or one of the early runners in the whole AR, XR, VR space. So all of these companies are investing in the metaverse because going forward, they see that how we interact today is going to change thanks to all these platforms and devices. I mean, what glasses I'm wearing today are my regular prescription glasses, but these could just be like smart glasses. Apple is said to be launching their own version of smart glass maybe next year, and that would change also the way we interact. Because while Apple did not invent the first touchscreen phone, we know how popular the iPhone got and how popular the iPads have got. And so going forward, this is going to be a natural way we interact with each other. If you look at the AR/VR software market, it is growing big. I mean, this is a report from Goldman Sachs, where the rate at which video games, live events, video entertainment, all of this is growing in the AR/VR space is amazingly fast and rapidly adopted. The use cases which I spoke about in the Gartner report, just to give a sense of the revenue opportunity or the business opportunity, just the software market in AR/VR is said to be a $35 billion industry with gaming, healthcare, engineering, all of them playing a key role in it. So if you look at consumer, we have around $18 billion of the industry coming here, and enterprise is almost 16. So both have an equal approach to the metaverse. I mean, they are rapidly adopting. The military, the army, both in India and in fact the US Army, is adopting XR to train their soldiers. Retail, I already spoke about. I already spoke about healthcare, education. So all this is coming together as we speak. And this is where I see all of this coming together. This is the vision shared by Mark Zuckerberg in his event last year, which will give you a feel of how we are going to be interacting. It is not happening overall as it's perceived right now, but in the next 5 to 10 years, we will see this coming together in a seamless manner.
Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually, it has things that are only possible virtually, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear. All right, perfect. Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
What's up, Mark?
Whoa, we're...
So as you see, various digital avatars are coming together in a virtual world to interact and play games.
Floating in space? Who made this place? It's awesome.
Right? It's from a crater I met in LA.
This place is amazing.
Boz, is that you?
Of course it's me. You know I had to be the robot, man.
I thought I was supposed to be the robot.
Whoa.
I knew you were bluffing.
Hey, wait. Where is Naomi?
Let's call her.
Naomi.
Hey, should we deal you in?
Hey. Sorry, I'm running late, but you've got to see what we're checking out. There's an artist going around Soho hiding AR pieces for people to find.
3D street art? That's cool.
Send that link over so we can all look at it. This is stunning.
Dude, that is something.
That's awesome.
Wow. I love the movement.
Wait, it's disappearing.
So it's AR through smart glasses, and you could share it with your friends. Sorry.
It's for people to find.
3D street art? That's cool.
Isn't that stunning?
Okay, that is something.
That's awesome.
I love the movement.
Wait, it's disappearing.
This is amazing.
Hold on. I'll tip the artist and they'll extend it.
Wow. Brilliant. Did you guys like it here? I have another room that you're gonna love. Check out this forest room.
So
let's see it.
various virtual
Koi fish that
environments are
fly?
being created.
That's new.
This is wild. Hey, one sec, Boz. It's Priscilla.
Hey, you have to see this. Beast is going crazy.
Oh, I love that guy. We've got to show that to the kids. Can you also send that to my dad?
I'll message him.
All right, see you at home. This place is great, Boz, but there's something I got to get back to. All right, so that's a glimpse of a few ways that we're going to be able to get together and socialize in the metaverse. It's a ways off, but you can start to see some of the fundamental building blocks take shape. First, the feeling of presence. This is the defining quality of the metaverse. You're going to really feel like you're there with other people. You'll see their facial expressions, you'll see their body language, maybe figure out if they're actually holding a winning hand. All the subtle ways that we communicate that today's technology can't quite deliver.
So that was like a snapshot, a feel of what the metaverse is going to be. And it's all, like I mentioned, technology and platforms coming together. But is it that technology will solve all our problems? Well, I don't think so. And I think neither does this guy here, who had once said that technology isn't a villain, but and it should actually help in solving your day-to-day problems. But if you use it just for the sake of it, if you just use it for the buzzword or just because it's a new trend, then you're cheating your audience. So anybody looking at the metaverse, be either as a user or a business, it has to add value to your day-to-day reality. It could be AR, it could be VR, it could just be a regular chatbot in your day-to-day life, right? It is up to you how you adopt to the metaverse and how you choose your reality. So that's my interpretation, a very high-level view of decoding the metaverse. The metaverse, I think, is what you want it to be. And with that, I think we are almost on time from a presentation point of view, and I'd be happy to hear any thoughts which all of you have, answer any questions that you guys have, and Rekha, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ninal. Just give me a moment. Is there some kind of echo? Okay, cool. So, Ninal, there are a couple of questions that have come down to us. So the first question is metaverse machine learning?
Okay, would you have the name of the person who's asked that question?
Yes, I do have the name of the person. It is Renuka Deshpande.
Yeah, Renuka, thanks for the question. It's a very interesting question. Metaverse is not just machine learning, as you have seen through the presentation. Yes, machine learning does play a very important role for the ecosystem to understand across use cases how things will interact or how things will behave. So AI and ML both go hand in hand to build that learning base, to build that knowledge experience. But only ML is not really with the metaverse. ML gives you the data insights to create actionable items which will go on to form parts of the metaverse. ML is even used outside of the metaverse. Machine learning today is also being used to learn, to analyze a lot of data and then come out with actionable items. So for example, in games, we use AI ML to create interesting game environments, or we use them to gauge the user behavior and accordingly increase or decrease the complexity of the game. So ML plays a really key role of the metaverse, but the metaverse is much bigger than just machine learning. I hope that answers your question, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you. Renuka, I hope that's clear now. Yeah, cool. Ninal, the next question that has come is from Prajakta. What are the important traits of the metaverse?
So again, a very interesting question, Prajakta, and the reason is very, very often when people ask me the very important traits of metaverse, or what are the use cases, or how does one be a part of the metaverse, it takes me back to a cartoon film which I used to watch on Films Division about 6 blind men trying to figure out the elephant. Right? One person thinks it is a pillar, one person thinks it's a snake, one person thinks it's a rope. So, but if you look at the elephant in its entirety, right, it is a combination, it's a representation of all of that, but it's totally different when you actually experience it. The elephant is not just a pillar, but it is strong as a pillar. The elephant's trunk is not a rope, but it is, the elephant can hold on to things. So the analogy, although a bit vague, the metaverse has different traits. I mean, you can use the metaverse in a different way than I would use the metaverse, because we would have different preferences, we would have different trends, we would have different devices, we would have different experiences to explore. So there is not one particular trait or a set of particular traits. The simpler definition would be that it is an immersive world which is persistent. So today, for example, when you're using the internet and you leave a website, while a cookie will be there, which will kind of track your preferences, the content would have got updated after you move out, and you could come back to a totally different environment. In a metaverse, right? Like even in a virtual game, your avatar would still be in that space, and you could resume from where you left off. So the metaverse is actually a simulated environment which is in parallel to like our day-to-day real life. So the trait is that it's a persistent world where you can log off and log in and resume from where you left off.
Thank you. Next up, I have a question from Parag. What is the role of VR and AR in the metaverse?
Thanks, Parag, and really interesting question. Thanks for asking that one. So AR and VR form a particular way of experiencing the metaverse. Like you saw in some of those videos, people were experiencing VR art, AR art, playing games in VR, or interacting with each other's virtual avatars in virtual reality. So AR and VR are two aspects which help you create immersive experiences. Like today, if you're playing a game on a laptop or a mobile, you are still outside that experience. You may be using your touch controls to move your character inside the game, but you're not a part of that game. If it's VR, the whole experience becomes a lot more immersive. The minute you put on a VR headset, you become that character. And at times it becomes so realistic that people kind of really feel that impact when you're playing that game, or when doctors perform practicals like medical surgeries in a virtual reality environment. You can simulate different experiences, right? You could say that, hey, this patient is in a life and death situation, and you could tone it down and say, okay, this is an easy surgery. So AR, VR play a very key role in bringing alive those experiences and making you an integral part of those experiences.
Sure. Thank you. We'll be taking in the last question. We would like to know, what is the future of metaverse in the far future, say in the next 10 years or 20 years? What is it that you foresee future of metaverse? And what are the kind of job opportunities you think is coming up, would come up in future? Something in those lines.
Sure. So my sense is in the next 5, 10, 20 years, the metaverse, as it evolves, as devices become cost effective and a lot more fun, form factor improves, or when 5G comes in, these will be an integral part of our day-to-day life. I mean, 50 years ago, if I told you that this particular device is going to be something we are not going to be, it becomes an extension of our body. I mean, all of us spend a lot of time on our mobile phones. Or 100 years ago, if somebody had said that, hey, the regular landline telephone or a postcard is going to be a means of communication and not just homing pigeons. Technology, as it evolves, becomes a part of day-to-day life as we start adopting it in our day-to-day routine. So we will start, today we are shopping on a mobile phone on Amazon and placing our orders. 10 years down the line, we might just put a VR headset and walk into a virtual mall and talk to a digital salesman and choose what we want to buy. And the same would be delivered in our physical world. Already a lot of companies globally are filing patents of you place an order in the digital world and it will come into your physical world.
Right.
So that it is going to become an integral part. Can you repeat the second part of the question? I'm sorry, I got
the second part of the question was, what is the kind of opportunities it is going to bring for people, job opportunities, basically?
Sure. So typically whatever you see today in our real world life, right, a lot of those opportunities would get translated into the metaverse. For example, architects today are designing buildings. Now that knowledge of spatial design, designing for the physical space, will also be applicable when you get into the virtual world. You are designing buildings and universes in the virtual world. So be it architecture, be it engineering, be it also from a design perspective, all of this will be applicable. AI/ML. So both non-tech and tech, all these roles are going to grow and go ahead in the metaverse from that perspective. So there will be immense potential for companies.
So also, I would like to know, there are many people who also have this feeling because everything would go digital or everything will go in the metaverse. So what about the people whose job is like, on a daily wages, or people who are not educated? So what happens to them? Do you think they could have a threat of jobs or something like that?
So this fear was also there when the whole computer revolution came in, right? I mean, as I said, there was the industrial revolution where people thought, oh, machines will replace our jobs. A lot of people were kind of afraid that if the machine comes, I'll be jobless. Or when the computers came, a lot of people were afraid that once computers come in, we will be jobless. Technology is not there to take away jobs. Technology helps you upskill and improve, or at least reduce your manual tasks and take over some of the aspects of those work to help the people upskill. Obviously, there will be some bit of upskill required, right? I mean, but basically, if you look at how the buildings were made, construction workers are still there today, right? But if you look at the pyramids of Egypt, where laborers used to use logs to roll the blocks, big blocks, to today, where we're using cranes to lift things. So technology will actually help improve their quality of life and improve upon them. So, and metaverse is not just virtual, right? It's a digital experience. It is physical and digital together. So my sense is it's not going to take away jobs. It is going to help people improve their quality of life and upskill themselves to learn new things and work in the metaverse as well as the physical world.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Ninad. That was a really interesting and interactive session that we had with you. We look forward to having more sessions like that. It was definitely a lot more interesting than the last one that we had. Ninad, I would appreciate if you create more content on this, and maybe we could have something coming up, maybe in November or December again.
Sure, we can absolutely would love to be a part of 3.0 versus various webinars, and going forward, we'll see how different thoughts I can have to make these more interactive, engaging. Maybe the next one can be on gaming, right? I mean,
absolutely. In fact, we also, like I was just mentioning in the start of the webinar, that we've Play to Earn is again one virtual trading segment that we have in our app, which is going to further have more features coming in. So yes, maybe in the next 1 or 2 months, we can again have one more session where we can talk on gaming and also show our gaming vertical to people so they know what is it that we have also created. Nevertheless, thank you so much, Ninad. It was very, very, very interesting session, and I would really thank all the audience who've been a part of this session. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, Ninad.
Yeah, thank you, Rekha, and thank you all the audience for being a part of this. I look forward to the next one.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.